Good morning. Today I was going, or am going to try to do something about the Malaysia Airlines flight. But ever since several days ago that I started thinking about doing this, most of the time my pendulum has been blocked. There's been a couple times if I just try it, uh, like all of a sudden it works, but if I have been thinking at all about Malaysia Airlines jet, then I get what I'm getting now. This is, I asked the pendulum, do I have contact with the light? And the answer is no. Do I have contact with the darkness? The answer is yes. And I ask, okay, the energy age, let's say the average energy age of those who are stopping my pendulum, blocking my pendulum, is 10, 100, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800. She's moving very well. 810, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 888. Those are the reptilians. 889, it stops. So my pendulum has been blocked for a few days by the reptilians. And they somehow can sense my thoughts. This doesn't scare me. It's happened so many times I'm no longer scared. They evidently can't do anything physical to me. But there's lots of them. Let's ask how many there are. 100, 1,000, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,000, 8,000 is getting close. 8,100, 200, 8,200, 8,300, and it stops. See, it's not 8,300. 8,200, 8,201, 2, 3. 8,203, no, 8,202. That's interesting. That's the exact same number I was getting several hours ago. 8,202. Okay, that's quite a few of them. This must be really important for them. So let's see, just to find out something about them, let's see their average emotional frequency on a scale of 1,000, where a normal, generally positive person is going to be 800, 900 or so. Their average emotional frequency, 100, 200, 210, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 300, 301, 302, 303, 304. 304, no. 303. That's pretty low. The worst I've ever felt, I was in the upper 300s, really feeling bad. So, emotional frequency, okay. Of course, their energy age, I'm writing this down, is 888. Okay, we've got all these. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm asking the pendulum. They never take full control of the pendulum, which is interesting. So I can still get some information, but sometimes I get missed. But can I take away their low frequency emotions and add high frequency emotions to raise their emotional frequency, which actually helps them, I think. Okay. I'll do this, take away their low frequency emotions. Now, on the revelation of the truth about MH-370, the missing Malaysia Airlines flight from, let's see, I believe it was March of 2014. I've told this story before, but since the pendulum is video, I'll tell it again. My worker, I saw him on the street, and he said, "Did you hear an airplane's missing?" And I thought, no, but I'm going to use the chance to see what the pendulum will tell me. And I came back to my cabin on the farm here, and I just asked the pendulum how many people were on the plane. I figured it's, maybe a few hundred or something. Obviously, it's not going to be big news if it's 10 or 20 or something. So I started counting in tens, and the answer was 230 to the nearest 10. Not 220, not 240. Okay, so 230. So I think before I opened the news, I also asked it what altitude it was, and the answer was at 30,000 meters. Now, of course, that's close to 100,000 feet. That's higher than airplanes fly, roughly 3 times as high as commercial airplanes. So something was strange there. It hadn't fallen into the ocean, obviously. It was up extra high. And I asked it what speed it was going, and the answer was 0, which all is easily explained by the fact that it was rescued by extraterrestrials, or interdimensionals if you want to say, and was parked in something bigger than the airplane. In fact, in close to that time, not long after, a friend had a hypnosis session where she saw the airplane parked in a big place and saw passengers and people and extraterrestrials with the passengers. But she was told it would be a waste of time to tell anybody because nobody would believe it. But because she knew that I had lived a year in Malaysia on Borneo, she had an interesting question for me. She says, I didn't know that Malaysians were so Chinese looking. I mean, the people I saw looked so Chinese. And I had to explain to her, well, it was the flight going to Beijing, China, and most of them were Chinese. She didn't know that. Okay, now the pendulum is starting to go a little bit in circles to take away the low frequency emotions. Okay, so I started, so I assumed that they weren't dead in the ocean. And, okay, but yet, so I opened the news to see how many people were on the flight. And the answer was 239. And of course, the pendulum indicated 230, not 240. So something was fishy there. And I asked the pendulum exactly how many people are on the plane. And the answer was 231. So I had to ask the pendulum, not this same pendulum. I use different pendulums. I sometimes break them and lose them. But they're all very useful. So I asked the pendulum kind of the obvious question, how many non-people were on the plane? And the answer was 8. So by that time there was a list of the passengers there with their pictures, I believe, already. And I started going down the list first to see if they're alive. Now, I can tell if anybody is alive or dead by checking their energy age. It's on a scale where we die at 100. It's a general indicator of health. I'm 69. My energy age is usually around 40. I do some therapy on myself, which helps. But generally, people in good health their energy age is a little lower than their real age in years. But as you get near death or get sick, it goes up. You can have a baby with an energy age of 97. A baby who was in intensive, 3-month-old little girl who was in intensive care had an energy age of 97. Whereas somebody who's 110 years old with an energy age of 97 is doing pretty good. So I can tell by their energy age if they're alive or dead at a distance. I just have to identify who it is. So I identified the pilot, and he was fine. His energy age was roughly 50 or something. And I checked the co-pilot, and his energy is 130 something. And I'm thinking, okay, this is weird. 130 something. If he's dead, if he died in a crash or something, it'd be like 100.1 or 100.0 or something. So it indicated something different. So I had to ask, was he born on the Earth? And the answer is no. And I had to ask, well, wherever they're from, with how many years do they die? And the answer was 500. These are fifth dimensional. We are 3-dimensional. These 8 extra people on the plane, and who substituted these people, which is interesting. They're from a place where you die at 500, so that's why his energy age was that way. I didn't go down the list of everyone because it's too big of a list. I'm not sure they had pictures of all the information because I tried now to find pictures and ages and stuff, and they don't have them. I couldn't find them on the internet. I think they're available somewhere. Anyway, this pendulum is getting almost ready to stop. Now this is taking away the low frequency emotions from 8,202 reptilians who are stopping my pendulum. Okay, the pendulum has stopped. Okay, now their emotional frequency was 303. Let's test it now. 100, 200, 300, 400. It's getting close. 410, 20, 30, 40. It's not 440. It's going to be 430 something. I won't get it exact. 430. 430 plus, I will say. Okay. Now we will go with high frequency emotions for them. Send them high frequency emotions. This gets kind of strange. Being a Christian, you hear the love thy enemy. Well, love thy enemy doesn't mean take him out to eat at restaurants, but it means to not think necessarily everything negative about them. And in this case, by loving my enemies, these reptilians, I'm showing, if you want to say, a principled love for them by wanting to help them instead of wanting to harm them and just keep, bad for bad and etc. So I'm actually helping them by raising their emotional frequencies. And that's a long story. But anyway, so I go down the list there, and the next person I found with a high energy age was the chief stewardess. And her energy age was higher than the other. Her physical age on the earth here was higher than the co-pilot, who I think was like 27 at the time. Yeah, 27. The pilot was 53. The co-pilot was 27. And so the chief stewardess was also one of these volunteers. There were 8 of them. I didn't go down the whole list and find the other ones. So that explained that. So I started looking for explanations of what really happened. And the first thing I saw, there's a daily thing I get almost every day called the Golden Age of Gaia. And I don't agree with everything they write, but they have a lot of, interdimensional channelings and things like that. And there was a story on there that a captain of one of the extraterrestrial ships, which we call UFOs, said that they had rescued the airplane and they had them on their mothership and they were sending them to Venus for healing. And I asked the pendulum, were they on a ship somewhere? And the answer was yes. And I asked, are they sending them to Venus for healing? And the answer was no. So that was partially true. Okay. Then I found the most interesting, which is an explanation, and it was on a group called, I believe, Veterans Today, which is interesting. And it went something like this, and I think it got erased because I haven't been able to find it. But it says something like, something like this. It's an explanation for the missing Malaysia Airlines jet. This is a fictitious story that even if it were true, no one would believe it or publish it or something like that. Okay? And the story is when they made the Malaysia Airlines jet, a Boeing, I think 777, that operated for 4 years before this disappearance, they actually made 2 identical ones, and one was put in storage. And when the operating airplane disappeared, the twin took off from Miami loaded with explosives to crash into nuclear arms limitations talks that were taking place, I believe, in The Hague. I guess The Hague is in the Netherlands, I believe. Anyway, but it said that their radar invisibility system failed, and they were picked up by the Dutch Air Force radar, and they could not carry out the mission. Evidently, they just went and landed in some of the hundreds of U.S. air bases all over the world. U.S. is the only country that thinks that they have to have air bases, right? All over the world. Anyway, so that mission didn't happen. But that the plan was, and to those talks, the U.S. and Israeli delegations, by chance, weren't going to be there that day in the talks. So you can see who is behind this. Anyway, as you may have heard, there were 2 Iranians on the plane with stolen passports, I assume trying to escape out of Iran. And they were going to claim that these 2 Iranians caused all this, hijacked the plane and caused this, and the goal was to go to war with Iran. Just like the Twin Towers, which was done by the U.S. and Israeli governments, of course. Elements of them, of course, not the whole government, never. A small, highly powerful group. It was, all for war for fun and profit for the super rich of the world. That's why the Malaysia Airlines jet disappeared. Now, that article also said that it was made to disappear using extraterrestrial technology, but by the bad humans using extraterrestrial technology to make it disappear to another dimension without a trace, and that would open up the opportunity for the twin airplane to do its damage. Okay? So that's the basic story on that article. And I asked, is this true? And the answer was no. And I thought, okay, well, maybe part of it's true. I asked, okay, what percent is true? And the answer was 97%. 97% true, okay? Interesting, this article did not mention the 8 fifth-dimensional volunteers on the plane. They did not mention it. But as far as I know, I'm the only person on Earth, as far as I know, who knew that there were fifth-dimensional volunteers on the plane to save them from destruction. Okay? Anyway, I thought, okay, well, it's 97% true. Let me ask which parts are true. And I started going down, and the only part that was not true is where it says, this is a fictitious story. That was the part that wasn't true. So the rest is all true. Okay, so I certainly believe it. Okay, that's the basic explanation of what happened. Now, at the same time, there's a group, a man, Will Burlinghoff, I think is his name. I think he's in Australia, who channels a being, and they just call it cosmic awareness. And this cosmic awareness sent a message through Will Burlinghoff that there was this, evil scam to blame things about this. I can't remember it, and I actually looked now and I do not find it. Their videos on their channel don't go back that far now. But this is about that time that there was a message that it was all part of a plot, an evil plot. Okay? So there's evidence that something is going on here. I ended up writing. Okay, so I was checking all this. I ended up asking a few days later, are they coming back? And the answer was yes. And I asked, when are they coming back? And they were going to come back in 23 days. And I asked where they're coming back to. They were going to land in Singapore on Passover Day 2014, which I believe was the 14th of April. Pretty sure. Can't remember for sure. Obviously, that's been 11 years ago now. An interesting question is why I'm doing this now. I really wanted to share this information on the 10th anniversary. But I was indicated by the pendulum that it was too dangerous, that I could not do it. And then I asked, well, when could I do it? And the answer was roughly sometime after March of this year. I asked that question, about March of last year. So it's like a year. I had to wait about a year. Well, it's been more than a year. Okay, now the pendulum is about to stop. I've been sending high frequency emotions to these reptilians. Now, I'm not sure what this will do. Maybe they will leave? But let's see. Okay, it stopped. No. Okay, what is the emotional frequency of these 8,200 average emotional frequency, 8,202 reptilians who were stopping my pendulum? And it is 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 801, 2, 3, 4, 804, no, 803, 803. Wow, so it went from 303 to begin with, 430 something after taking away the negative emotions, and 803 sending them positive. So I'm going to ask now, are they blocking my pendulum? And the answer is no. That's interesting. Do I have contact with the light? And the answer is yes. Okay, I'm going to ask how many hours have they been blocking my pendulum? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 101, 2, 3, 4, 104, no, 103 hours. They have been blocking my pendulum for 103 hours. Okay. Now, so as I say, I now have contact with the light. Okay. I have a list here of some of the passengers. I got out the ones who probably speak English, etc., and some that I've been in contact with before. One here is Philip Wood from the USA, and I didn't find his age, but he's, I think, more or less middle-aged. Philip Wood from the USA. Okay, obviously he's supposed to be dead 11 years now. Let's check his energy age, where we die at 100. Philip Wood, the passenger from the Malaysia Airlines jet, his energy age. In our scale where we die at 100. If he's over 100, he's dead. If he's under 100, he's alive. His energy age. 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 46. No, he's going to stop. He is at 45. He is absolutely alive and well. That's not bad for his age. I imagine he's in his 50s or something. I saw a picture of him. Okay, we have Rodney and Mary Burroughs from Australia. Let's check Rodney Burroughs from Australia on the flight. His energy age. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38. 38? No. 37. Alive and well. Okay, Mary Burroughs from Australia. Her energy age, where we die at 100. 10, 20, 30, it's getting close, 31, 32, 33, 34, stops at 34. Her energy age is 33. 37 and 33. Okay, we have Robert and Catherine Lawton. Robert Lawton. 10, 20, 30, 31, 32. 32 is going to slowly stop. 31. And Catherine Lawton. 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Stops at 28. 27. 31 and 27. I don't know, but chances are the second couple is a little bit younger. In both cases, the man is a little bit older than the woman, which is very typical. Men, of course, tend to die a little younger and often get married to women a little bit younger than them. Paul Weeks. Okay? I believe Paul was in his 40s, but I can't remember. Paul Weeks. From New Zealand. I think his wife, maybe he lived in Australia because his wife is Australian. Paul Weeks. Okay, his energy age. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 42, no, 41. His energy age is 41. Okay. Now there was a young French students. One was Hadrian Watrellos, and what appeared to be his girlfriend, evidently also French, Zhao Yan, of 17 and 18 years old. Let's see how they're doing now. Since chances are they're not 17 and 18 anymore. Let's see Hadrian Watrellos, his energy age. 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. 27? No, 26. Hadrian is now 26. And Zhao Yan, she is now 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Also going to stop. They are both 26, which makes perfect sense. The mom, Lawrence Watrellos, who was 52. Check her energy age. 10, 20, 30, 35, 40, 41, 42, 43, and it's going to slowly stop at 43. So her energy age is 42. Okay, 42. She was 52 11 years ago. She's now 52 legal age. She's now 42, so she's in good health. That's close to mine. Let's check my energy age today. Okay, this is Jesse Blen. My energy age on this scale, of course. 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 1.2, 39.2, 39.1. I'm 39.1. I do some therapy on myself, and I'm feeling pretty good today. I am, as I say, 69. Okay. And Amber Watrellos, who was 14, that is Hadrian's sister, Lawrence's daughter. She was 14. Let's check her energy age today. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Stops at 23. She is 22. 22. Paul Weeks. I've already checked him. I had him on the list here twice. He was at 41. Let's see, or did I? Check him again here. 10, 20, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. Yeah, 41. And 42, it stops. Paul Weeks is at 41. Okay, I have it that he was 39. And now 11 years later, he's 41 energetically. So, all these people, interestingly, are in good health. In fact, there's one woman, I'm not sure, I found her, one woman from India who had the highest energy age of anybody on the plane. She's a little bit old, but she was evidently also sick, and last I checked, she had been healed. Her energy age has gone way down. So let's check with her, this oldest person from India on the plane. I have contact with her, and let's check her energy age now. No, let's check her energy age the day that the plane disappeared. Her energy age then. So I have contact with her back then. Yes. Yes, I have contact with her. Now her energy age back then. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72. And it's going to stop. She was at 71. 71. She was the oldest, energetically the oldest person on the plane. Let's check her energy age now. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Getting close. 51, 52, 53, 54. 54, no. 53. She's 53. See? She'd been healed, like I said. Okay. Bob and Kathy Lawton from Australia. Bob Lawton. Let's check here. Bob Lawton from Australia. His energy age. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38. It's getting close. 39, 40, 41. And it's going to stop. So Bob Lawton is 40. And it says they were in their 50s 10 years ago. Okay? So we can see a general pattern. These are healthy people with their energy age, depending on their age, but, you know, whatever, 5, 10, 15 years below their actual age. Of course, when they're young, like Watrelos and Yao Yan, then their energy age is just a couple years below their real age. Okay. Now, I got back here to Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah. Let's check him now. I think I've told the story, but let's check him now. He was 53. Captain Shah. Have the contact. His energy age now. 10, 20, it's moving. 30, 35, 40, 45, 46, 47. It's going to stop. 46. His energy age is 46. And he's now roughly 64 years old. Okay, and the young co-pilot, Farik Abdul Hamid, the one on the plane, because these extra-dimensional people actually replaced the people who were going to go on the plane something like a year and a half before this happened, because they knew it was being planned. So they fit in a year and a half before. That's an interesting side story there. Okay, the co-pilot now, this one who was on the plane, his energy age is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130. It's getting close. 131, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 138, 138, and 139. It stops. So he's at 138. He is one of the fifth dimensional volunteers. Okay? And somehow, since I was looking for non-Chinese and non-Malaysians, they also found a guy, Luigi Maraldi, from Italia. Let's check him. He'll be the next to the last one we do. Luigi Maraldi from Italia, Italy. His energy age. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 31, 32, 33. And it stops. 32. 32. Okay. All of these numbers for energy ages are well within the normal range for healthy people. All of these people are alive and well. Okay? I have done this with hundreds of people, and it always works. Okay? Now, the other person I think I mentioned was the head stewardess. Let's check her energy age now. She was one of the volunteers, the same one. Her energy age now is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140. It's pretty close. 141, 42, 142, no, 141. I'm going to write down stewardess. 141. Okay. Now, what happened to these people? I don't really know. Let's connect with the real, genuine, who was to be the co-pilot, Farik Abdul Hamid, and see what we get. Let's connect with him, Farik Abdul Hamid. And this is on a scale here on the Earth. Let's check his energy age. 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25 it stops. His real energy age is 24. Okay, he should be something like 38 years old. 24. Okay, the real one is 24. And the real head stewardess is not going to be 141. The real person who was actually replaced. Reptilians have replaced Obama. Obama is dead. The one you see is now a reptilian replacement. So if the reptilians can replace humans, I think fifth dimensionals can also replace humans. The head stewardess, the real one, is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. It's going to stop at 33. So her, and I think 32, her real person is 32. Now, are these people in the fifth dimension? Now, were they taken to the fifth dimension and replaced with people from the fifth dimension? I think that's what happened, and I'm asking that, and the answer is yes. Yes. So these people who were replaced, who were replaced by these volunteers, they were taken to the fifth dimension. Okay, so that explains a lot. There's other things. The last little story, about 3 years after that happened, I got, if you want to say, tired of knowing the story and nobody wanting to take it serious or anything. So I actually planned a meeting in Tibas, which is close to the capital of Costa Rica, and invited several reporters. Several reporters, I found their email addresses or whatever and could contact them. None of them answered, much less show up. The news system in this world is part of the evil control program that keeps us in the dark. None of them showed up. I had the meeting, about a dozen people showed up, half of them people I knew, half of them people I didn't know. And there was this young girl, I would guess, maybe 18 years old there, who at the end of this came up to me and says that she channels Cryon. Cryon is an angel. The most famous channeler of Cryon is Lee Carroll. If you look up Lee Carroll Cryon, you'll see who Lee Carroll is. But she channels Cryon, and Cryon has a message for me that these survivors were not going to be come back because they're on the way to the fifth dimension to show us the way. And they are also, that they weren't bad. And she said I was correct in perceiving that there were seres lumínicos en el vuelo, that there were luminous beings on the flight. Well, I never thought there were luminous beings. I just realized they're not earthlings. And so I was actually given confirmation, and I have that recorded in Spanish. I was given confirmation that I was correct in finding that there were 8 luminous beings on the flight to save them. So, thank you to these luminous beings. All these people are alive and well. We hope to make it to the fifth dimension and see them. They said, Cryon said that they were in the fifth dimension, opening the way for us. So that is the story of the true story. They're all alive and well. I challenge any reporter to interview me, which they refuse to do because they're all under control of the system. I challenge any reporter. I can explain all kinds of things. We can ask all kinds of questions. You're welcome to ask. So, I have asked for angelic protection for myself for this because it could be dangerous, and I'm asking, do I have angelic protection? Okay. Do I have permission to publish this video? Yes. Okay. Is there danger for me personally The answer is no. Is there danger for any of the passengers on the plane? Are the reptilians going to like what I do? No. Okay. That's interesting. So, 40 minutes, a rather long video. If you have stayed this long, thank you for your patience. You can contact me. My email is jesseblenn, JESSEBLENN @gmail.com. Just put MH-370 or whatever in the message, and I'll be glad to talk to you. And interesting story. It's time that this comes out. I hope it does. Thank you very much for your patience.